not feel today? Ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We made it! We made it! We made it! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We made it. And let's go to the house. And let's go to the house.
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them.
He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man.
You already make the big money.
He's a man.
Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there.
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
All right, y'all already know what it is. It's Talk Your Team Tuesday here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3. That's right. If you got a Roku streaming device, you got to download BS3 TV. Download it. Just trust me. Download it. You'll be glad you did. A lot of great shows, even some new shows, getting it in on BS3 TV. Keith Hennick, what's up, man? I got you a message last week, man. I had my bosses with me all last week. So yeah, man, I had to drop in some pre-recorded shows. So the bosses could be happy. So, but I am free and loose today. And then I'll be back in their care before the end of the week, because they got to go school shopping and all that kind of stuff. And, got to get that done. So CJ, I'm tired of telling you I miss you. I feel like I'm begging now. But you know what? I ain't too proud to beg. I hope you've been well. You need to reach out to me. Let me know how you're doing. All right, Talk to Team Tuesday. We are beyond week one of the preseason. So what do you think? What's your team look like after the first preseason game? Are you ready to overreact? Are you ready to underreact? Where are you after seeing your team play in the first preseason game? Keith Hennick, Tampa Bay, Tom Brady walked away from the team. We've now found out that it was predetermined, pre-planned that he would take time away, had a vacation with his family. And, again, I think they're doing the right thing, handling Tom Brady the way they're handling Tom Brady this preseason. It is nothing he's going to do this preseason that's going to make or break him in the fall. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. But what do you think about your team? What do you think about, just pretty much what you saw? There's one team that I just gotta the New York Jets. What in the world? Their starting quarterback is going to be out for 2 to 4 weeks. 2 to 4 weeks. Jets quarterback out 2 to 4 weeks, and you just don't need that kind of news, man. You just don't need that when you are the New York Jets. Let's see who they got this week. They play on Monday night. They got the Falcons on Monday night, so we'll see. But their quarterback Zach Wilson went down on a non-contact situation, and apparently it was his MCL. Let's see. I'm gonna read what John Breach said of CBS Sports. If you're ever reading this newsletter and wondered, man, The guy who writes this is awesome. I'd love to talk to him. I have some great news. You actually can. Oh, that ain't what we talk. Zach, I want to talk about Zach Wilson. That's what we want to talk about, Zach Wilson. What did he say about Zach? He's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks. I know that. I think it was his MCL, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was his MCL. Okay, here we go. There's good reasons why a lot of coaches end up benching their starters in the preseason, and that's because they don't want to risk anyone getting injured. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson is the latest example of why it can be a risk to put your best players on the field. The Jets quarterback suffered an injury over the weekend that could keep him out for nearly a month. Here's what we know. He's likely to miss the first 2 to 4 weeks, a bone bruise and a torn meniscus in his right knee. I'll say this. I don't have a problem with them playing Zach Wilson because Zach Wilson is a starter, but is he really? I mean, come on, Jets fans. Is Zach Wilson really a legit starter that you want to take reps away from in live action because he's already arrived on some level? So I'm not going to kill the Jets for playing him. I still think, though, it's tragic that, you have a player go out there in preseason, first game preseason, and ends up missing possibly the start of the regular season. So he's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks. If he's out 2 weeks, then he's back for regular season. If he's out 4 weeks, he misses week 1. What do you do? What do you do? I mean, when you got a guy like Zach Wilson who needs reps, needs as many live action reps as you can get him, what do you do? What do you do? I initially said, oh, God, you can't have your starters out there week 1. And, when I think about Zach Wilson, you got to have him out there. You got to have him out there. But, down goes Wilson. Down goes Wilson. Other options at quarterback, if it turns out that Wilson is going to be out for more than 4 weeks, the Jets could try to pull off a trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, but that would only make sense if Wilson is going to miss a month or 2 of the season. Right now, it doesn't make sense. They've got a couple of backups that actually played better than Wilson did, in my opinion. Keith Hennig said, I never react during the preseason. That's probably the best logic that you can give people. I went to the Texans game Saturday night, got an upgrade in my media credentials and where they had me seated. I was like, wow. I mean, I used to be on the second row, way down at the end, more or less in the end zone and higher up than the first row. But this year, unless they change it, and they still can, I'm down on the first row for the media, and I'm around the 30-yard line. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Omar. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Texans Media Relations Department, because your boy feels love. Your boy feels love. All right, so I went to the Texans game Saturday night. I wasn't looking for a lot either. I didn't expect Davis Mills to play, but then when I think about what I said about Zach Wilson, it's the exact same thing with Davis Mills. Is he really the starter where you can just, we're not going to play him, he's got all the reps he needs in practice? No, you got to get him out there in some live action, some live drills. First drive, he was 3 for 3, handful of yards. I wasn't worried about big plays, wasn't worried about him doing anything spectacular. It's just not Davis Mills. What I did notice was he's getting the ball out a lot faster in Pep Hamilton's offense than he did in Zach Taylor's and Tim Kelly's offense. Tim Kelly, former offensive coordinator, got fired last season, along with David Culley, head coach David Culley. I mean, Davis Mills looked like he knew what he was doing with the ball, looked like he knew where he was going to go with the ball, but he didn't look like he was locked in on one read. He just got the ball out quickly. He looked, he saw it, it was open, he threw it. You can't ask for much more than that. And people who are not really football folks, casual fans, so to speak, they say, oh, God, he's a one-read quarterback. No, he looked, He saw it. It was open. He threw it. You don't have to scan the field when your first read is there. And he trusted what he saw. He threw it. They were there. They caught it. Bang. That's all you need week one of preseason. Now, I'm worried about what this team's going to be if Davis Mills goes down, which doesn't say a lot about Davis Mills. I think it says more about what's backing him up. You know, what's backing him up is just shaky. Kyle Allen, Jeff Driscoll. You know, Driscoll threw 2 touchdowns and one was the game winner with like 25 seconds left to play. But he also threw 3 INTs. You know, it's week one of preseason, but I said in training camp that you got to be very careful with this team, that if Davis Mills goes down, what happens from there? All right, let me take my first break. I'll be right back with more right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E and streaming live on BS3, courtesy of, streaming live on Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV. Big shout out to Ben Sutter III. All right, guys, we'll be right back right after this on the lunch break.
If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you some humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents.
I am Cole Johnson and welcome to
Cole Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets.
Let me just confess that I had to threaten the BS3 network that if I didn't get a sizzle reel that hot as Cole Sports, I was gonna mess some stuff up, man. I was going to mess some stuff up on the network. You were gonna see a lot of Dan Snyder, and you were gonna see a lot of him kissing the BS3 logo. But I can go ahead and admit I said it, I meant it. I was in the process of doing it, but I got word that I am going to get a sizzle reel. So I can't complain. I cannot complain. Hey, Ben, I'm going to have you come on the show and talk about the BS3 awards. We got a BS3 awards coming up, and I need to get Ben on the show to talk about that. So, Ben, let me know when you can drop in on us and tell everybody about the BS3 awards. And I am one of the presenters of the awards. So I'm glad about that. I'm glad about that. So anyway, took a break, and I was talking before the break about the Texans game. They ended up winning 17-13 over the New Orleans Saints. Again, not a whole lot to break down in that, other than the players looked pretty comfortable in Pep Hamilton's offense. You knew they were gonna, make some plays in Lovie Smith's defense. Lovie Smith is, he's one of them defensive guys that, he's going to make some big plays. They're going to force some turnovers, and that's good. That's what this team needs. I was worried about the pressure that they would be getting on the quarterback. They got some when the later round guys got in there, and I think it was because you had later round defensive players against later round offensive players, and usually defense is ahead of the offense. So you had a couple guys miss some assignments, and Saints quarterbacks got sacked. Ian Book got lit up a couple times. So, that's pretty much all I got. I think this week will be a bigger test for the Texans. They're playing the defending Super Bowl champion LA Rams in LA. I believe that's Friday night game. Let me see. I got it right here. Yeah, Saints Friday night. Rams Friday night at 9 in LA. So yeah, We'll see if it's for at least a series, the number ones for the Rams versus the number ones for the Texans and what that looks like. That'll be a bigger test. Lovie Smith as a head coach versus, Sean McVay, who now has a chip. You can't just call him the young offensive-minded coach. He's got a chip. You got to respect that. Lovie Smith does not have one as a head coach. He got a team there, but unfortunately they fell to Tony Dungy and the Indianapolis Colts. So Keith Hennick, now don't you be doing that. Keith Hennick done jumped on the Texans, Rams, should be a nail biter. Nah, again, we're not looking for wins and losses. We're looking for how teams react against better competition. How does Davis Mills look against some of the better Ram defenders? That kind of thing. So that should be interesting. Dallas lost to Denver 17-7, but Ben DiNucci. Come on. Cooper Rush and Ben DiNucci. CJ, Ben DiNucci, Martha, get on the Googles and find out why Ben DiNucci. What is a Ben DiNucci? I forgot. Get on the Googles and find out again what a Ben DiNucci is. I mean, the fact that dude is still in the league, Benno DiNuccio, I hope he stays for several years so that I can keep saying his name and get Martha to get on the Googles and find out what a Ben DiNucci is. So, again, preseason, week 1. What do you want to say? I know a lot of people want to talk about Deshaun Watson and his performance in week 1 of the preseason. And while there is still a lot that you can talk about in reference to his sexual assault civil cases, there's one still out there. And you can still talk about what the NFL is going to do punishment-wise, because that 6-game suspension has been appealed. We do know that Deshaun Watson's team has said that they would accept an 8-game suspension and a $5 million fine for those who, are reasonable and can talk these things through. What that means is if the league is willing to accept an 8-game suspension as opposed to the 6 and a $5 million fine, then Deshaun Watson's legal team will not try to take it to federal court after the ruling by the arbitrator who has been put over the appeal. They're saying that they're not going to pursue it legally. They'll just accept it. CJ says, I think about you every time I hear that name. You ought to think about me every time you think about me. That's all. That's what that ought to be. I mean, let's get real. But yeah, Ben DiNucci, man, it just don't get no better than that. That is the perfect name for sports. I need Ben DiNucci to do anything he can, good or bad, so that I can report it and say, Ben DiNucci, Martha, get on the Googles and find out what again a Ben DiNucci is. He's a Cowboys quarterback? Since when? What happened to Tony Romo and Roger Staubach and Danny White? Dandy Don Merritt. Now we got a Ben DiNucci. I'll tell you, I need to find out whoever has a voice like that and get them to do a drop for me. Hey, I'm listening to the lunch break on the legendary JM&E, and you're on Roku, courtesy of BS3. Now, if you ain't downloaded BS3 yet, I don't know what you're doing. You're almost acting like a Ben DiNucci. I got to get somebody to do that for me. That would be the best drop in the world. But anyway, let me get back to it. So, folks want to talk about the Deshaun Watson thing. So if Deshaun gets 8 games and $5 million fine, somewhere around there, they're going to accept that. They're not going to use their appellate rights and try and appeal it. They'll accept what the league, hands down. I am of the belief that the league is going to suspend Deshaun Watson for a season. I'm on record. 1 year. 1 year. Great Kenny Pickett impersonation. Is that how he talks? Is that how Kenny Pickett talks? Y'all stop what you're doing and give honor to the King, King Doc of Queen 3 and King. That's going to be rocking tonight at 7 o'clock. And, man, they got a great show on tap. They got a couple of ladies that will be on talking about life after miscarriages. And, previous marriage, me and my ex-wife had multiple miscarriages. And it was traumatic. Very traumatic. So going to be another great show tonight on Queen 3 and King podcast, again, on the BS3 network. So be sure and check it out. You got a Roku streaming device, download BS3 TV, 7 o'clock tonight. Check out Queen 3 and King. All right. CJ said, "Oh, help me! I'm cracking up over here. I need that drop, man. I'm an equal opportunity TV show. So I don't want just, what's up, man? It's Dre Dog, and we checking out the lunch break. I want, hey, Martha, we're on the lunch break with AJ on JM&E and BS3, and we like it because he talks about Ben DiNucci, and we got to get on the Googles and find out what that is, but you don't got to get on the Googles to find AJ on BS3. I gotta get that drop. I'm gonna find somebody. I know somebody sounds close to that. See if I can't get him to drop me one. All right, so anyway, I'm on record. I think Deshaun's going to be suspended for at least a year. Again, they will probably appeal it. I don't know if they'll win, but I think Deshaun is gone for 2022, 2023. Just me. Not saying he should or shouldn't. I'm just saying that's what I believe is going to happen. All right, take another break. Be right back with more right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3.
Discouragement, sorrow, distance. Your arguments cause damage to your family. The hurt leads to divorce. You feel like there is nowhere else to turn. But there is hope for you. That's where we come into play. There is an overcomer that lives inside of you. One ready to take on the world as you leap for joy, living in victory. You'll grow to love yourself and others. There's life after divorce, and you can claim it today. Get Over Divorce, where your new story begins here every Thursday on YouTube and Spreaker.
So that's what I'm talking about. Some very provocative shows that really help you, deal with life's issues right here on BS3 TV. I love it. Doing great work, man. Hey, BS3 and Doc, y'all doing a great job, man. Doing a great job building a very powerful network, man. I'm serious. So, but anyway, Deshaun Watson 1 for 7. How many yards? Like 7 yards, something crazy. And, the people that hate him think, oh, yeah, karma, we got him. Just had a bad day. First time playing live contact football in over a season. Sat out all of last year. And I'm not saying that was punishment. Stop trying to twist my words. And, for those who just eyeball roll and, don't want to talk about it. Okay, I'm not talking to you. I'm just saying he was out for an entire season, and here he is, first preseason action, and he looked horrible. It's okay. Got a lot on his mind. I'm not trying to make him a victim. The fans were not welcoming. The fans down in Jacksonville, who knew? Who knew that the fans down in Duval was going to go that hard? I mean, hey, cover your kids' ears because this was raw. They were raw when it came to Deshaun. It's probably going to be how every away game is going to be. Let me look at that Cleveland schedule. And see where they got to go because, baby, it's going to be lit on the road for them. All right, so they got Philly at home. Sunday. He's gonna be all right. You might hear spatterings, boos, and nasties and negativity, but he's gonna be all right there. And then the last preseason game on the 27th, the Bears again gonna be all right. Gonna be all right. Now, where it's gonna go bad is week 1 of the regular season. They'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina. People down there don't know how to act. People down there don't know how to act. They gonna cut up down there in Charlotte. They gonna say stuff that you wouldn't want nobody to say around your child. They're gonna say that. Then on September 18th, they'll be at home versus the Jets. So don't have to go to those New York fans that week. The New York fans will have to come there, and again, should be okay. And mind you, this is if he doesn't get suspended, and is going to play. And in fact, if nothing changed from today, his first game would be in Baltimore, week 7, and the Baltimore fans are going to give it to him. They're going to give it to him. They're going to give him some of that business. Week 8, he'll be at home versus the Bengals. The Cleveland fans are not going to let the Cincinnati fans out boo them, if you will. That's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Week 9 will be the bye week. Week 10 at Miami. Those good old folks who relocated from New York, they'll probably give him the business down there. At Buffalo, upstate New Yorkers, they're going to act up. They ain't going to act like they got no sense. Week 12 at home versus Tampa Bay. Be all right. Week 13, December the 4th. Lord, let me live that long. Be in Houston versus the Texans. Texan fans are going to give him every negative chant, probably throw stuff on the field. It's going to be bad. It shouldn't be, but it's going to be. It's going to be the worst of the worst. It's going to dig up out of the sewers and come out for that game. And then they go to Cincinnati, same thing. Exact same thing as I just said about the Texans. December 18th versus the Ravens at home, be okay. December 24th versus New Orleans at home, be okay. January 1st in Washington versus the Commanders. They shouldn't say a word. I'm sorry. They shouldn't say a word. If they're not going to say the same thing about Dan Snyder and the Commanders organization, they shouldn't say a word about Deshaun Watson. Dan Snyder is as nasty as they come. Dan Snyder, Robert Kraft, Jerry Jones, all up nasty. Should be all in the same boat as Deshaun. In fact, they should all have to go to mandatory counseling together. And then the last game, January the 8th at Pittsburgh. Again, Steelers fans, blue collar fans, they liable to cut up a little bit. So it could be a rough year. I believe Deshaun is going to be out whole season. But if he does, if they uphold that 6-game suspension, which I don't think they will, he's got some tough road games he's going to have to face. So King Doc says, let's see. Thanks, but that's 8:23. No show tonight in prep for the Friday night special. Real Men. We need you on the Life After Miscarriage show, man. I think a man's husband's perspective would be fantastic. Bro, you can say less. You can say less. I'll be all over that. So again, no Queen 3 and King tonight. We got a special show coming up on Friday. I'll be on that show with them. And so the Life After Miscarriage will be August the 23rd. So be sure and adjust your schedules and check that out. So, all right, let me take one more break. We'll be right back right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E and streaming live on Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV.
This is a BS3 network presentation.
I want to show that attainability. I want to show the accessibility of this kind of lifestyle.
From social media to having conversations with friends and family, you always have to put on face and say face.
What brings a smile to my face is the one person that totally believes in me, and that's my beautiful wife, Jody.
I just had to stop because I didn't value myself. I didn't love myself. And it's like, I have to learn to love myself.
Changing the world one conversation at a time. This is Revelations.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break. Talk to Team Tuesday here on JM&E and streaming live on Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV. I can't say much more about Deshaun. I'm not mystified by why he played so poorly. I won't be shocked one way or another. If they uphold the 6-game suspension, I won't be shocked. If they give him 8 games and $5 million fine, I won't be shocked. If they give him an entire season and a fine, I won't be shocked. Now, if they give him more than that, if they make it indefinite or make it 2 seasons and he's got to reapply or something like that, I'll be shocked about that. That'll be the only thing shocking. All right, news came out that Jimmy Garoppolo was egging people. Jimmy Garoppolo was Iggy Garoppolo. He got all that money, contract money, and then stopped taking phone calls. And folks are like, well, he didn't have to return their calls because it was during the off period. And according to the collective bargaining agreement, which, some people can't spell CBA if you spot them the C, the B, or the A. Well, it was his off time. If that had been Lamar Jackson, if that had been Kyler Murray, and yeah, I'm making it about race. If that had been a black quarterback, oh, well, God, the least he could do, they're paying him all that money, for Christ's sake. The least he could do is answer the phone. For Jesus Christ. You got to be a leader. To whom much is given, much is required. Stop with the nonsense. Stop with the nonsense. Jimmy G should have at least picked up the phone. Whether he did anything about it, he should have picked up the phone, and he should have been grown enough to say, hey, by the way, we're in the dead period, so I will get to that as soon as, it's open season. But just egging people in your place of business, y'all know if that was somebody you didn't like, you'd be mad as hell. That was Baker Mayfield. Hell, let's just put it on Baker. That was Baker Mayfield. Oh, God, see, he's a child. They need an adult at quarterback. People kind of like Jimmy G. They're hoping he comes to their team and save their team. If you're the Jets, you better hope he's coming there. If you're the Jets, you better hope he's coming there. Seattle, I know Geno looked good and Drew Lock looked all right. It's preseason, week number 1. It's different than when you're actually scheming against a game plan that people want to have. They don't want you to see what they're going to put out week number 1. How many years did Detroit go 4-0 during the preseason and lose how many? So, people kind of on the Jimmy G train right now. So Jimmy can do no wrong. He don't have to answer his phone. He don't have to respond to the general manager. Doesn't have to respond to his coaches and position coaches and all that. That's okay for Jimmy G right now. When he gets on a team, then everybody will hate him and they'll bring that up. But for me, you at least answer the phone. Hey, yeah, what's up? Okay, we're in, CBA says no contact, no practice, no nothing right now, right? be grown enough to do that. Be grown enough to do that. As far as the Saints go, they look pretty interesting at quarterback. If Jameis Winston is healthy and can get off to a good start like he did last year, they're going to be fine. But it's good to know they got a seasoned veteran like Andy Dalton behind him. So they got some experience back there. Ian Book is not ready to lead nothing. He ain't ready to lead nothing. Glad he's still in the league. Glad he's down there, but he ain't ready to lead nothing. So Alvin Kamara apparently is not going to face any criminal or league stuff this season. So I'll be surprised if Roger Goodell steps in and suspends him for any period of time. That will be helpful to the Saints. Also, what will be helpful to the Saints is if Michael Thomas comes back. Hey, listen, Taysom Hill's going to still be on the field at tight end where Jeff Driscoll should be. But, I think Taysom finally got the writing on the wall that he is a Swiss Army knife similar to Cordell Stewart, and he wants to play. I'm not mad at him. I mean, I think if Tim Tebow had to do it all over again, he would have switched to tight end sooner than last season. You see how that worked out for him. So Taysom's going to be all right. The Saints are going to be all right. I still stand by all of my picks after the first week of preseason. I think the only big concern that I had after 1 week of preseason was, folks are talking about Mason the Redneck Rudolph like he got a chance to be the starter in Pittsburgh. And there's a lot of things that I will deal with, a few things that I will accept. But Mason the Redneck Rudolph at quarterback starting for my beloved Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm not rocking with that. I'm not rocking with that. I'll be the only person out there protesting, and I will be out there protesting. Hey, Jay, you're supposed to be a non-biased journalist. I am when I'm at work. When I'm not, I'm out there protesting Mason the Redneck Rudolph. Why do you call him that? That's not nice. It's not polite. I know. Thank you. Appreciate you. No, it should be Mitchell Trubisky. It should be Kenny Pickett. That's what it should be. So I'm hoping that Rudolph gets traded somewhere. Okay. Is it back on? Can y'all hear me again? I don't know what's going on. I think Comcast is doing their thing again. I see the little thing spooling right there. I'm directly connected into the router, so I'm not sure why I'm having trouble. They have not put our fiber in yet, so I think it's time for me to start banging the gavel and stuff again. Fiber in the hood. We need fiber in the hood. Thanks, King Doc. Thanks, brother. Hey, listen, I'm gonna go to the break just for that. Let me play this hot sizzle reel that I better get me one of. If I don't get me one of, I'm gonna bomb Queen 3 and King with Daniel Snyder kissing on the BS3 logo if I don't get a sizzle reel like that.
If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you some humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents.
I am Colt Johnson, and welcome to
Cole Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
All right. Let's see what King Doc say. King Doc say Cole Johnson will definitely have a lunch break sports show commercial soon. I just hit him up, man. Let me tell you something now. I'm just telling y'all what's gonna happen if I don't get something. I hate to be like this. Why am I like this? I don't know, but I just feel like I gotta turn over some tables, to get me a sizzle reel like that. It's hot. I want to be hot. I want to be like Cole Sports. Is that too much to ask? I don't bother nobody. I mind my own business. I don't mess with nobody. I just want a little sizzle reel. Is that too much to ask? Look, I'm like the Negro League. I'm like the Negro League of baseball. I want a league of my own. Hey, Doc, that's like that Hey Love album. Dude say, hey, let me borrow it? He said, oh, no, brother. You got to get your own. Oh, man, that is, though. That's fire, man. That's fire. I told y'all I was going to get people requesting that doggone sizzle reel because that thing is hot. He going to make me, miss some stuff on Saturday so I can check out the dang on show. So, anyway. Kevin Durant. There's bull out there about Kevin Durant, and then there's smoke out there about Kevin Durant. Bleacher Report published a tweet that said Kevin Durant was more than likely going to retire than play another game with the Brooklyn Nets if they don't trade him. And apparently that was a bridge too far for Kevin Durant because he came out of silence, came out of the, no fly zone and said, listen, that's the dumbest bleep I've ever heard. I ain't retiring. So that's that. Bleacher Report, out of bounds, off limits. You lied. Don't know where you got that from. Sorry. But that doesn't mean that Kevin and the Brooklyn Nets are back in love again. Kevin Durant still wants out. Kevin Durant apparently wants to go and play with James Harden again and the big man over in Philly. If I'm Philly and I'm Doc and I'm Daryl Morey, Joel Embiid, James Harden, no, hey, listen, no, when I said holla at me, I meant call me. I didn't mean come play with me. I didn't mean, that ain't what I meant. If I'm Harden, I'm on the phone with him now. Yo, homie, I just want to get back to you. When I said get at me, I meant call me or FaceTime me. I ain't mean come join me. No, that ain't what I meant. So Philly has been identified as a place he apparently really would want to play. Still got some love for Boston. But I mean, again, Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant. If I'm Jason Tatum, I'm like, no, hell no. I go from having Jason Tatum as my partner in crime to having, let me see, how did that work out for, Russell Westbrook? How did that work out for, Steph, Clay, and Draymond? How did that work out for, Kyrie? I don't know. He can't be my partner in crime if I'm Jason Tatum. And then I think that's still that open possibility that Miami could keep all the people that Kevin Durant wanted them to keep down there in Miami and play down there. But I'm just Keith Hennig, you need a spot on Sports Center. Brother, you already know. You already know the deal. And Sports Center called, we're giving you $6 million to run the 6 o'clock desk. No. I'll just stay where I am. $6 million. Guaranteed. Yeah, can't do it. Hey, Donna Coleman-Holman, what's up, my friend? My sister, Queen Donna. Love you so much. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your service. Keith, you're right. Katie, here's the thing. I don't know if KD needs anybody to grow him up. I'm gonna try and be as respectful as I can be. I don't think KD needs to grow up. It's gonna sound like I'm splitting hairs, but I'm not. You got people that are fully grown that are immature and underdeveloped in certain areas. They want what they want, and it's, they'll do whatever they got to do and act however they have to act to get it. And I do. I think Kevin Durant has areas that he needs to develop and he needs to mature. And I know he would fight me if he heard me say that. Who are you? I mean, who are you to diagnose me? And I'm just saying, bro, like the whole thing that I said about Jason Tatum. If I'm JT, I'm looking at, well, how did he treat Russ? I thought they were boys. How'd that turn out? How did he treat Clay and Steph and Draymond? I thought they were boys. How did he treat Kyrie? I thought they were boys. I mean, what's going to make me think that he's going to treat me any differently? And I think that just like Kevin Durant's got his wants and wishes and, hey, it's just, it's what I want. Other people can have their wants and wishes too. You want to play with us? We don't want to play with you. You hear certain quarterbacks are coach killers. Kevin Durant might be a franchise killer. I mean, he really might be. Even though they won a chip before he left Golden State, he got 2 chips in Oakland. That's where they were at the time. They said that franchise from the inside out was ready to implode and explode. It was ready to crash down on itself, and it was ready to blow everything out between him and Draymond and him and other people and what have you. And man, some franchises just don't want, some franchises can't afford that. Donna Coleman-Holman very eloquently said KD is a superstar that's playing with some other immature guys. KD needs a leader. One thing I can say, KD is not your traditional leader, your regular kind of leader. He is definitely a superstar. I'll give him that. KD should go back to Golden State. If I'm Golden State, I'm like, hang on, we'll call you. We'll call you. So anyway, we'll see how that lasts. Right now, Philly and Boston are the most often named player destinations, but KD made it very plain there is no chance he's going to retire because he doesn't get what he wants to get out of Brooklyn. So I'm glad he spoke out on that. All right, Major League Baseball. Oh, man. If I'm the Padres, I'm just like, what in the world? Fernando Tatis. I say his name right. Hold on, let me get this out of the way. Baseball. Padres. News. Fernando Tatis Sr. says that his son's PED suspension, he got suspended 80 games for PEDs, is a catastrophe that will cause millions to stop watching baseball. He must have graduated from Trump U. That kind of statement is Trumpian. I mean, bruh. So, San Diego Padres star shortstop, Fernando Tatis Jr., was recently suspended for violating Major League Baseball's joint drug agreement. I'm reading a article by Dane Perry from MLB.com. Major League Baseball announced that Tatis tested positive for the performance-enhancing drug cholesterol, an anabolic steroid. The suspension means that Tatis will be ineligible to participate in the 2022 postseason alongside newly acquired superstar Juan Soto should the Padres secure a playoff spot. Now, here we go. During the appearance of the midday show in the Dominican Republic, Tatis Sr. said that his son used the medication Trofobol, which contains the banned substance cholesterol, to treat a case of ringworm on his neck. Now, again, cultural. If we go get our hair, cut, and the barber doesn't clean the clippers right, brothers, y'all support me on this. If the barber doesn't clean the clippers right, you can get a case of ringworm on your head, and it is not something nice. It's got to be treated by something medicated, or in many cases steroid related. So dad is saying that he used the substance in a spray to treat his ringworm. And then he says this is a catastrophe, what has taken place, not just for Junior, but for all of baseball. There are millions of fans who are going to stop watching baseball now. It's a total disappointment for Dominican fans throughout the world, for something so insignificant that wasn't worth it. It's topical. It's topical. What came out positive in Junior's body is something that doesn't give you strength, first of all, doesn't apply to amplify your weight training, and it doesn't have any testosterone. It doesn't contain absolutely anything that would give you an edge in the game. What has occurred is a catastrophe for baseball. Now, Tatis Jr. is going to meet with the Padres front office and his teammates later this week. But the general manager has already said they don't trust him. They've already said they don't trust him. Bottom line, they gave him way too much money, and he hadn't performed towards that money. That's what this is. But, again, if you got a banned steroid in your body, in your system, however it got there, it's banned. Appeal it, go through the Major League Baseball. Nobody has a stronger union than MLB. Go through Major League Baseball, appeal it, and get that 80 games knocked down to something that's manageable, if this is truly the case. But, bruh, goodness gracious. You don't want to get on that list of banned steroids because you can forget the Hall of Fame. You can forget endorsements. It's just bad. It's bad. It's bad. All right, let me, Donna, 80 games. King Dog, my Rangers just fired their manager, Chris Woodward, yesterday. I'm happy. He has lost the room. I hope they get a veteran manager. After they got rid of Washington, I was done with them. And they haven't done anything since then. After they got rid of Washington, I was done with them. They've done nothing since then. So, yeah, they brought in another mediocre manager, and guess what they got? Mediocre play. Katie is still under contract for the Nets. If he refuses to play with them, what's the alternative? Applying for government assist. Hell, Brett Favre did it, so why not Katie? Why not Katie? Big Time Floyd, we get ready to start the lunch break weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge on the first full week of games in September. I think the games start, let me see, regular season games start when, but Big Time Floyd is always at the top of the deal. All right, so first game is September the 8th. So that's when you all have to have your picks in. September the 8th, you got to have your picks in by 5:30 on September the 8th. And then for the tie-break game, use the Monday night game, Broncos and Seahawks. That'll be the tiebreaker. Give me the exact final score of who is going to win that game. Exact final score, 27-14, 21-20, whatever you think the final score for both teams will be. Get that in. And again, I got to have all of those picks in, all of them for all of your week by Thursday, September the 8th at 5:30 Central. Anybody can play. Don't have to register anything. All you got to do is get me your picks. You can send them to, text them to me, 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005, or email AJ@JonesMediaandENT.com. AJ@JonesMediaandENT.com. I'll remind you. All right. Let me get ready to go. It's been a fun Talk Your Team Tuesday. I'll be back for Winning Wednesday tomorrow. Lord say the same. But as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. So meet me here tomorrow at noon. Y'all take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Tuesday, August 16th, 2022. Number 1, Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney is expected to do Tuesday what no Cheney has done in the state of Wyoming in over 40 years, lose an election. Depending on the polling results, the daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney is trailing the Republican primary challenger, Harriet Hageman, by more than 30 points. In a state where the former president won 70% of Wyoming's vote in the 2020 election, this race is not between Cheney and Hageman, but between Liz Cheney and Donald Trump. Number 2, a Florida teacher quit days before the beginning of the school year after staff removed posters of black leaders, claiming they were not age appropriate. Images removed from the bulletin board at O.J. Sims Elementary School included depictions of Martin Luther King Jr., Harriet Tubman, Colin Powell, and George Washington Carver. Special education teacher Michael James, who's been teaching special education for 15 years, chose the board's theme because he wanted to motivate his students with inspirational leaders they could easily look up to and see themselves. Number 3, the Nebraska Supreme Court Friday dismissed an appeal by a handful of Creighton University students who sought to be exempt from the private Catholic school's COVID-19 vaccine mandate last year. They argued that getting the shots would violate their religious beliefs against abortion. The state's high court said it did not have jurisdiction, citing its 150-year stance that people cannot appeal orders denying or granting temporary injunctions. Number 4, 6 Paulding County, Georgia high school football players have been declared heroes for rescuing a woman in distress. On the morning of August 12th, the small group of black athletes from Rome High School rescued a woman, believed to be in her 50s, trapped in her car following an accident in the middle of an intersection. A witness said Caesar Parker, Trayvon Adams, Antoine Carey, Messiah Daniels, Tyson Brown, and Alto Moore used their strength to pry the door open so the woman could be released. Number 5, there are several tax deductions that you are probably missing. If you live in an income tax-free state, you can use the IRS tables provided for your state to determine what you can deduct. You can also keep track of all the sales tax you pay throughout the year and use that. Read more about it in today's What You Need to Know newsletter, brought to you by Texas CPA Katrina M. Kraft. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Open your mind before your mouth. Try it. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with comedian to the stars Damon Williams and political contributor Cameron Riley as we discuss today's top headlines and more. And please Don't miss me today on The Wendy Williams Show starring Sherry Shepherd. Check your local listings for showtimes. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the American Heart Association. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SybylWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.